The reason that I decided to start getting involved with permanent cosmetics and medical tattooing is actually because I was quite intent on doing the more medical side of things as opposed to the cosmetic side of things. What I saw was a lot of medical tattooing being done for people with alopecia, burns victims, cancer survivors as well, because after mastectomy you can put 3D nipples back on even if a surgeon has left no nipple at all or not been able to leave a nipple. You can make it look like one is actually there, or if they've actually made a nodule for the nipple, you can obviously make it a lot more 3D with a proper areola. But the thing that kind of did it for me was actually seeing things like Help for Heroes, with all of these guys that were coming back from Afghanistan with quite horrific injuries and not necessarily knowing what was out there to be able to help them as far as permanent cosmetics is concerned. Because very often guys are left on the sidelines and not many people actually want to do things for guys because we're so used to working with women. And an approach for a gentleman is very different to how you would approach a woman's face. It needs to look far more natural and far less manicured. So yeah, that was the main reason why I went into doing, or why I wanted to go into doing the permanent cosmetics, is because I wanted to be able to help guys more. And that was why I chose to go with Nuvo as well, because they have one of the best medical educators in the UK. Her name's Kathy Brown. And she's extremely experienced with things like scar tissues and all sorts of different things like that, because scars do behave extremely differently to how normal skin behaves with retention and various other things. So yeah, it was very important to pick the right company with that. And also, they would not let you do the medical training until you had gotten up to at least a gold standard with your normal cosmetics, which it's a principle that I can thoroughly agree with, because you shouldn't really be dealing with medical clientele until you are that experienced, because it's not so much the techniques being different, because the techniques are pretty much the same. It's how you deal with the client, how discreet you are, learning to not ask the question of, oh, how did you get your injury? Because that's not what you're concerned with. You don't need to know the mechanism of injury. The only thing that you might need to know is how old the scar is. That's it. And it's learning to not let that curiosity get the better of you, and how to deal with people normally, but in a more delicate fashion.